Then we have New Guinea. Now, New Guinea dominates Melanesia, and the island itself is currently split. Of course, New Guinea is this very large island here just north of Australia. Now, in general, we see Melanesian cultures which are democratic and unstratified, with elders handling the majority of the affairs. Now, among some, we see big men who have accrued power. Big men are people who people owe favors to. So a big man will frequently actually be one of the poorest persons in the society because they're constantly giving things away to help others. That way, when they need help, all those peoples will owe them. They also become a person of power because of that intricate web of various favors and gratuities that are done for members of the group. Many rituals will revolve around the attainment of knowledge. And we see this allows social advancement because anyone, be them very poor, very wealthy, can attain knowledge. And we're going to be looking at the Asmat. Now, this is along the southwestern coast of New Guinea, and they are hunter-gatherers. They believe that one could steal power from another, i.e., headhunting. The death could not be natural. They felt the death could be sorcery or assault. And enemy heads were taken to avenge the death of others and build communal power. So you would go head hunting to avenge the death of someone in your group who was killed, and would also build the common communal power. The more one person becomes powerful, the more powerful the community is as a whole. This practice, head hunting, is still going to be common into the 1930s. Now, the custom will cease by the 1960s, primarily due to colonization. And what we're looking at are these Bisj Poles. Now, these served as a pledge to avenge a relative's death, and they would be erected when there was support for a headhunting raid. So, your brother is the victim of a headhunting raid. You would go ahead and erect one of these Bisj Poles to gain support to go off and avenge his death. Once the death is avenged, the pole will be taken down. This is a temporary piece of art. And they're made from mangrove trees. More specifically, the buttress root of a mangrove tree is used to carve this very open pattern. Animals tend to be symbols of headhunting. As the Asmat see the head as the fruit of the human tree, fruit-eating animals will become symbols of headhunting. They will also consider the praying mantis female particularly important because she consumes the head of the male. The curved open work that we see, this very sort of phallic open work, the curved open work is not only phallic, but it relates to a boar's tusk, or the form of a boar's tusk, which is tied to ideas of hunting and virility. After all, a community has to have a certain amount of virility, power, and energy to go out on a headhunting raid. An individual needs the same thing. As soon as you lose that virility, you're more likely to be a victim of a headhunting raid. So we have these beautiful poles that are put up, and as soon as there's a successful raid that has served its purpose, so they have avenged the death of this person. And by the way, if your brother's killed by Bob, you don't necessarily need Bob's head, you need a head from someone in Bob's group. So we have this back and forth form. When we look at the artistry itself, obviously we have the phallic symbol, the sense of virility, we have the figures themselves, and as you look at these, they can be quite intricate. These open curvilinear forms give it a certain airiness. And the height of the pole, again, speaks to virility. The forms are frequently humans stacked and holding one another.